after 9 a.m. Eastern time. Of course, for all of us on social media, at least, you could tell this is not Fausto. This is Josh Levitan tagging in for Fausto this morning. I know he had some testing done on his knee that conflicted right around this time. So, of course, wishing him well, but great to see all of us collectively on social media, Facebook Live, YouTube, and, of course, for all of us inside the live trading room. Leda, big welcome back to Bill. I know that Bill right now is still checking in from the hospital. He just wrote to us, but, just well wishes to Bill, and great to see one of our longtime students like Bill joining us here. Great to see Egan, Dan, Andrea, Michael, Karen, Lewis, Glenn, and John, and all of us on top. So, folks, hey, we are reeling off the Fed meeting that ended up concluding yesterday, and we ended up concluding class yesterday as well. Tongue twister there. But nonetheless, while we were in class, all hell broke loose, right? We ended up seeing the markets make this squeeze up at first. Let's see if I can get this up. Hopefully it doesn't freeze up my platform here. But we ended up seeing the S&P, the SPY here all together, ended up making this big squeeze up coming off the Fed meeting, ended up raising the interest rates by 75 basis points. And with that, well, it didn't continue, did it? Ended up making the squeeze up shortly after, dumped then the squeeze up. So we were hopeful to see higher lows. If anything, look to see more of a bump back up taking us into the close. But from that point, complete drop off, ended up making a lower high, steady downtrend off the highs into the close. And obviously right now, heading into the market open, market is not really looking too great here. Trying to squeeze up a little bit, but right now dragging back down here heading into the morning. So, right now it could be another morning to see some good shorts. But hey, we talked about this in our Traders Talk workshop earlier this week on Tuesday. In terms of, a few of us that are new to trading or just otherwise, if you're trading out of an IRA or cash account and you can't short, what do you do? Well, what we covered in Traders Talk very briefly here is, you need to have patience with knowing where to jump in off of collective bounce levels, or otherwise wait till that 10:15, 10:30 time frame. We talked about that in class as well. Right around that time, we tend to see some reversals or consolidations. Now, aside from that, not every stock is moving with the stock market, right? So, just take it from SPRO this morning. We ended up seeing a big squeeze up on this stock early throughout the pre-market hours. Ended up making a nice push from like $1 all the way up over $2.25 there. Still holding strong heading into the morning here. So, right away, right now, I'll just put this, on our watch list here, the SPRO. Now, we actually came off of class yesterday talking about news as well. I did post the news on this stock inside the live trading room. I believe I did. Hope I did. There we go. So the news on SPRO, it looks like them and another company, GSK. So GSK and SPRO Therapeutics announced an exclusive license agreement for late-stage antibiotic asset, for one of their drugs, I guess, a deal that they're doing on. The company's receiving $66 million up front, plus potential milestones up to $375 million. So, hey, for a small cap company like this, that's actually a really big contract, really big deal. Ended up leading to a big push. It's up over 152% right now. Certainly, we hope to see more on this trade once the market does open, but just be careful on the stock. History has a tendency to repeat itself, right? So there's a reason why this stock's been dropping off for as long as it's been. And more often than not, for these pharma stocks, therapeutic-based companies, they're not swing trades. So, once the volume dies off on it, once the volume begins to die off and the stock begins to slow down, it's going to begin to tank and go the other way. So that's what we need to be careful of. All right, so hey, SPRO, stock doing pretty nicely here heading into the market open. We were doing all right on a couple of others here, like VRAX. VRAX also came out with some news early this morning in pre-market, but you could also see, looking at the daily chart, and even back from, I think it was just yesterday morning or a couple of days ago in the pre-market, the stock was active off of respective news itself. Well, it dumped off shortly after the market opened up. It had a pop and then a big drop. So here today, well, it had a nice breakout shortly after 8 a.m. You know what? Let me just jump to the news one more time. Not going to be Newsman Levitan today, but VRAX, we ended up seeing news come out. So it looks like this is even from, this is from this morning. Okay, so VRAX shares trading higher after the company announced it has entered into a distribution agreement to market monkeypox virus real-time PCR detection kits and Cosmos Holdings, or with Cosmos Holdings. So led to a nice pop. I ended up scalping this throughout the pre-market for resistance here to build. I was looking for the initial bounce and got the quick bounce at first, but on the pullback, I chickened out, ended up getting 9 cents on the trade. I was happy with it, but ended up quickly recovering, pushing back up. I jumped back in for another 3 cents, I think it was. I ended up jumping in one more time here. I think if I didn't go break even, I lost a penny. I got out as it was failing to make that squeeze from the VWAP to act as support. So the more it's kind of just laying over the VWAP without making that pump, it's going to drag back down, especially with this stock back from, I think it was Tuesday this week in pre-market. It led to a big pop, then drop shortly after. History has a tendency to repeat itself, so we have to keep that in mind. So right now, VRAX, I'm not in this any longer. Hopefully this ends up making a pop for us. I'll definitely put this on our watch list here for the morning, and we'll see what it could do. All right. What else did we have from yesterday? Perhaps we could talk about a couple of different trades. This one was a little surprising in terms of news. I think that Stitch Fix ended up coming out with some bad news in relation to their earnings, if not lowering their guidance. Then otherwise, their EPS not meeting the estimates led to a drop in the after hours from Tuesday night. But out of nowhere, ended up leading to a big squeeze shortly after the market opened up. This Stitch Fix trade from like 450 all the way up towards easily over 5. It grinded above 5 there. Ended up topping off right around 537, 538. Came back down a little bit. Could be tradable heading into the market open, but I mean, hey, the first word there was could be. So right now it's only trading 7,700 shares. We don't know if it will be. It's not really trading a lot of volume right at this second this morning. So, we're going to keep this on our side list. There's definitely plenty of other stocks that are trading a hell of a lot more volume heading into the morning here. So, Stitch Fix one from yesterday. Then we ended up doing well on a couple of other trades, at least from yesterday as well. The Mara stock early on in the morning, and it also ended up leading to a big pop heading into the afternoon at first, coming off the Fed meeting. But more from the market open yesterday, we ended up seeing this make a really strong squeeze up. It was even much more than like any of the other crypto stocks or Bitcoin altogether. So just in particular, Mara had a beautiful run. The others went with it, but this was the best of them. And then from there, coming off the Fed meeting, you could at least see, it moved with the market. It was a really volatile run at first, popped from like 1050 all the way up a buck up to 1150 and then came back down. So, this one at least trading a hell of a lot more volume this morning. And for all of us inside the live trading room, you folks know that we pretty much call out Mara, more often than we don't. So, I'm sure at some point today we'll look to focus on it. But for right now, there's not a whole lot much going on in pre-market in terms of trend. It's like kind of flat here. All right, so I'll tell you, we got 2 stocks already on our morning list here, and both look good so far, the SPRO and the VRAX. We have a couple of the other cheapies here, like AVCT and Moho on the top of the gainer side. I'll just kind of skip over those, and we'll kind of skim through here, folks, right now. I'll tell you right now, when number 7 on collective, because I know Fausto and myself have different platforms, different scanners, but on TradeStation, this combines them all. You can go separate here between the ARCA, Amex, NASDAQ, NYSE like he does. He does the NYSE and the NASDAQ, but hey, for all of them together, number 7's up only like 11%. That's it. And on the loser side, I mean, even contrary to that, I mean, you'd expect, maybe there's like a lot more stocks that are down percentage-wise. I mean, number 5's only down 7%. What the hell's going on here, folks? So that's the first thing I could just tell here heading into the market open. There's just a lot in the middle. So, it might be a good side list day, actually. We'll take a look at the end. NYAX, it's up 10, 11%, 87K, but look at this chart. I mean, I guess it's a new IPO, or I have no idea what's going on with this thing. Jeez, this daily chart's pretty odd. So, you know what? Hey, if we're unsure, then I think that we're pretty sure. We're going to move on. TCRT, hey, at least this stock we are familiar with. We ended up trading this a little while back over the last couple of weeks, actually, more so as it was pushing up. It ended up tanking here like a week ago or so, and from that point ended up leading to a small dead cat bounce. So, this one, I know that the order book will fill in more, at least when the market opens. It's up over 9%, trading 115,000 shares here this morning. So, for right now, we'll add this. And another stock that we are familiar with, Robinhood. Now the news out on this stock. Now I'll jump to this one more time. I'll jump to Benzinga, the news here one more time here for Robinhood. And I'll be transparent with you because Fausto, being a 30-year plus pro of the market, one of the original SOS bandits, he would be able to give you much more insight than I ever would be on this in particular. So Robinhood shares trading higher after it was reported that the SEC is poised to let Wall Street keep payment for order flow deals. So, hey, check back in tomorrow morning. I know Fausto will be back here bright and early tomorrow for the morning meeting, and he will be able to give you more insight in regards to that news. Led to a big pop early on, as you could see. So, with that in mind, hey, it's still grinding on up here, this Robinhood trade. Robinhood obviously being a brokerage platform. So, with that, ended up leading to a nice little squeeze up early. And, hey, hopefully this can continue. Perhaps there's short squeeze potential written behind this trade. So, Robinhood, yeah, we'll put on our list here. Been chopping away at the markets for 8 years now, folks, but that does not necessarily compare to Fausto in 30 years, right? All right, what else we got here? The LI trade, LI Auto. I know the Chinese EV companies like NIO and XPEV, they were moving pretty well early this week, and they're still on our side list. We could easily look at those in a moment. Lee here, it's up big. Maybe there's some news on it. I guess while I'm at it, I got my damn Benzinga back up, but let's see what else we got here at this point. I may as well keep it up at this stage. All right, so Lee trading higher after the company announced it will host a launch event to unveil, I guess, their new car, the Lee LB, on Friday, September 30th, ahead of schedule. So I guess the last part there ahead of schedule led to the gap up and run up at first. But otherwise, I'm not fully interested in it just yet. I want to see the order book fill in more for this trade. Trading a lot of volume so far in pre-market, don't get me wrong. So, if it pops after the open or makes at least a decent move after the open, we'll likely call it out. RUM, had a nice little move at first. It ended up stalling out shortly after. Again, very similar to Lee. Not fully jumpy to put this on our main list just yet. Very active, though, so far in pre-market, so hopefully it continues. It seems like it's trying to climb up a little bit here. But again, the order book is really illiquid. Big spread, pretty thin book out there. So, this is one that I'd say is more of a level 4 or 5 stock in terms of how we categorize these trades. Had one of us call out Frey earlier today, or earlier this morning from yesterday. Ended up making a little move, but again, thin volume on the book. Same deal. Now we're dipping below 5% here as we get ready to jump over to the loser side right now. This FFIE is not looking too good. All right, let's hop over to the loser side here. Not a whole lot that even is shortable that's down big. Novavax is one of them, and that's a familiar name. So Novavax, hopefully the order book fills in on this trade a little bit more. May as well go back to it one more time. Go back to Benzinga Pro here. Check the news on this stock. Looks like it could just be earnings related, if not just earnings, which... No, it's not earnings related. It's really just JP Morgan downgrading them. I thought it was earnings tagged along with it, but it's just JP Morgan downgrading the stock from neutral to underweight, lowered the price target from 132. They lowered their price target from $132 down to 27. Now? You lower your price target now from... Might be a little behind the ball there, right? Jeez. All right. So with saying that, I mean, it dropped off a little bit in pre-market, but yeah, Mike, it's been falling off for a month. Been falling off longer than that at this stage even, right? Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. But nonetheless, down over 5% this morning below that 27, but it could easily drop a hell of a lot more after the open, right? So Novavax, I'll put on our main watch list as a potential short. A little late there, guys. No? Jeez. All right. Let me know, folks, if there's anything else that looks good from Michael Egan, Bill, Carol, Lita, Grant, anyone else inside the live trading room. If there's anything else up, down, left, right, more than that 5%, let me know here in the chat board. Of course, for all of us on social media, same to be said there. I don't think did I look at beat here with you folks here, BEAT? It looks so bad now. I don't think I even checked it out here during the meeting. It was on my notepad. It was bouncing a little bit going into 7 o'clock, but otherwise, again, very similar to the beginning of this week, I think it was, or the end of last week it was, led to a pop, but then it only dropped off from that point. So, we'll keep this on our side list here. All right, folks, I think that just about wraps it up. Hey, I look forward to this market open, especially coming off what we saw from the end of the day yesterday. Should provide a little bit more action here, at least heading into today and potentially even into tomorrow, the end of the week. For all of us on social media, a couple of housekeeping notes before we close out. If you have any questions, I always like to post my email at the end of these streams here. So that being, as I'm typing it in the chat board right now, josh@c2trading.com. That's my email address. Any questions that you have in regards to these meetings, what we do on a day-to-day, week-to-week basis, feel more than free to send an email over. Again, josh@c2trading.com. If you're interested in joining our live trading room, feel more than free to join us by going right down to the link on the blue banner below. But coming up later on this morning at 11 o'clock Eastern time, Fausto's he'll be actually coming on this morning at 11 o'clock Eastern time to do an introductory to day trading webinar. We posted this link right here in the live YouTube stream. So for all of us there right now, I know that there's still a bunch joining us right now live. The link is in the chat board right there, in the comment section, I should say, right there, and it's showing on the stream at least. But otherwise, if you wanted to join Fausto this morning for his introductory to day trading webinar, tip of the iceberg order, just click that link right there to register, and then from there you'll be able to join. All right, for all of us on social media, Facebook Live and YouTube, I look forward to being back with you folks later on this afternoon at 2:30 Eastern time today. And again, for all of us inside the live trading room, I'm going to refill up your water bottle here, but I'll be good to go coming up at the market open. I'll talk to you all soon.
Become a Cyber Group member today. Just click the link below and receive all these amazing products and a world of knowledge for just $9. Do it.